talk about this little doggy, Benji. Now, this case, of course, very sad. It doesn't make things better for the family of Julian. Julian was murdered, allegedly, by his girlfriend, a reality star from, what is it, Beauty and the Geek she was on. She's definitely this Tamika Chesser. I think there's definite mental health issues here, and I mean real mental health issues, not just that she's going to be saying she's got mental health issues. I think she genuinely has, for whatever reason, some sort of mental break. And unfortunately, Julian was the victim of it, and she allegedly killed Julian, decapitated him, set his body on fire, and set off to dispose of his head. And his head had not been found. In the end, the police called off the search. His family were preparing for his funeral, preparing to bury him without his head, because you can't wait forever, I suppose, to bury somebody. Although obviously, as I say, finding Julian's head does not bring him back, does not make things right, but it must feel better to know that he's being buried together, his whole body together. It's got to be better than the alternative, hasn't it? So yeah, now the police called off the search, and as seems often happens, as soon as police call off a search, people turn up, don't they? Or things turn up that the police were looking for. Strange that, isn't it? But maybe it's because, at the end of the day, the police can't look everywhere, can they? Or they can look and they could literally a head. It's a small thing, isn't it? At the end of the day. They could walk past it, not find it, though they were out with dogs. Anyway, it transpires they were not looking at this area where Julian's head has been found. Was not an area that the police had looked at. So no wonder they didn't find him, really, because, they never looked in that area anyway. So luckily, a dog walker was out with his two dogs, and one of his dogs, Benji, found Julian's head. So we're going to have a look, first of all, to start with. We're going to have a look at the interview with him. Now, I just want to put his picture up in the corner there while we're talking about him. And there's him with a dog. It looks like a golden retriever, so he's obviously an animal lover. There's always a dog, isn't there? I always say that about, whenever I do a crime story of any kind, there's always a dog involved in it somewhere. Whether it's the victim's dog, the perpetrator's dog, or the perpetrator's horrible to dogs or does something to dogs. There's always a dog in the story, isn't there? So, there's Julian with his dog, or, at some point in his life, he's had a dog, or he's had experience with dogs, relationships with dogs. I don't know if it's his dog or somebody else's dog. But do you know what I mean? There's always a dog. That's what I always say whenever I'm looking at a case. There's always a dog. And in this case, and in lots of other cases, dogs are often so important, aren't they, to cracking cases, to resolving cases, whether it be a police dog, or how often is it a dog walker who finds people's remains, or if not their remains, evidence, etc. Dogs come into play so often, don't they? And now, of course, dogs don't only detect remains, they can detect SIM cards and all sorts of things. They're so clever and they're so important to solving crimes, aren't they? So let's have a look at this video of Benji and how he helped at least to give Julian's family. So that must be, you know yourself. If it's horrible to imagine your loved one might be murdered, but if then you find out they've been actually dismembered, and then this part of their body missing, it must be a relief of some kind, at least, that Julian will be buried as a whole person, as he lived. He lived as a whole person. He should be buried as a whole person.
A walker has told of his surreal find, his dog stumbling across human remains in Port Lincoln Scrub, the missing piece in a murder investigation. Julian Storey's family tonight awaiting forensic testing to confirm it is his skull that was uncovered by an unsuspecting local weeks after he was...
Oh, Heather, thank you so much. I'm just going to put my thank you up. That's very kind. Thank you for the Ko-fi. Thank you. Do you know what I should get was a thank you, gracias, as well for my Spanish channels, of course. People will be watching from the Spanish channel as well. Gracias, Heather. Right, sorry, I'll get back to the video now. In fact, I'll put it to the beginning again, I think. It's only a short video.
A walker has told of his surreal find, his dog stumbling across human remains in Port Lincoln Scrub, the missing piece in a murder investigation. Julian Storey's family tonight awaiting forensic testing to confirm it is his skull that was uncovered by an unsuspecting local weeks after he was allegedly killed by his reality TV star girlfriend.
It was meant to be just a regular walk for Tyson McCullum and his dogs, but it was while walking through this reserve yesterday that Benji, the Beagalier, cracked a murder case.
Pretty surreal, to be honest. I just went in a bit closer and...
Well, beagles are, aren't they? Hunting dogs, really, aren't they? They're known for that. And it's funny how dogs are different. And that's funny. What was it you, Lily, that was saying, is that on Vera? Dog walkers should be on the payroll, yeah. And I've got to admit, when I go out with my dogs, I always think, because of the true crime that I'm interested in and that, I'm always thinking, oh, my God, you know, when the dogs go off to sniff something, you think, oh, God, I hope it's not a body, you know. But it's funny because, you know, I've got two dogs. I've got Rocky and Riley. And Riley, the white one, let me just put... let me do... I'm going to put the... so this is Riley. Yeah. Now, he's more for rabbits. He sniffs rabbits. Oh my God, that's it. He's off. That's why he can't be let off his lead ever, because he just won't come back till he's absolutely exhausted. But it's really only rabbits that he goes for. I don't know. He doesn't seem to bother, like if, you know, if this food, you know, how people throw food or whatever. Rocky, however, he'll go after anything that smells. So I think if any of them was going to ever find a body, it'd probably be Rocky. But I don't know. Now I worry about him when he goes off sniffing, because you just only try and eat whatever it is, because he's like obsessed with food. Whereas Riley will bring you whatever it is. He's one of those. So, you know, he did bring a rabbit. He's only ever brought me a rabbit once, because he's only ever caught one once. And this rabbit, it was only a baby, and it was poorly. It was obvious. It was clearly poorly. And I just had to sit with it then till it died. I mean, it sounds ridiculous. So there I am at the campo. He comes up with this little baby rabbit in his mouth. Now, it's not him who's killed it, because he doesn't bite down on it. It was poorly, you know, you could see that it was, and then of course the shock of getting picked up with Riley, by Riley, probably nearly finished it off. So I had to sit there and comfort it. I didn't have to, but I wanted to sit there and comfort it, and then it did pass away, sadly. I mean, it was, you know, I don't know what was wrong with it. It was just one of those things. That's the reason now Riley ended up catching it, because he's chased 1 million rabbits. He never catches one. He starts this high-pitched scream and starts, you know, he's a hunter. He is a proper hunting dog, and that's what he is, a Podenco, and they're bred to hunt, and they're bred to bring the prey to the hunter. So the hunter, you know, would be shooting and trying to flush out. The dogs would flush out the animals, but they don't. It doesn't do anything to them. I forgot why I started saying this now. So yeah, if I was out dog walking and my dogs went off into, like this dog did, he let it off its lead. He let the dog off the lead in that park bit where he was, and one of them just didn't come back. Now, that would be probably be Riley who wouldn't come back, though. He would bring, Riley would bring it to me. I mean, God, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Whereas Rocky, I think maybe because he normally comes to you when you call him, so if he didn't come to you when you called him, I would be worried then there was something. But anyway, I don't know. They've got such a powerful sense of smell, haven't they? And beagles, so these are beagles, and they are, the dog's face, it's like, oh, I'm famous. It almost seems to know what's going on, doesn't it? Bless it. The famous dog. Anyway, sorry, let's listen to the what the guy's got to say.
Kind of made the connection pretty quickly as to what I thought it was.
Tyson's companion sniffing out what major crime detectives have been searching for weeks, the missing head of murder victim Julian Storey.
It was kind of just like, no
Poor
way.
Julian, there he is, and he was that, what he must have, she's a very attractive woman, maybe he loved her, maybe he knew she had mental health problems, and maybe he tried to help her and it just didn't happen, but poor Julian, it's a shame.
Julian Storey.
It was kind of just like, no way, like it's not what I think it is. Like, no, surely not. But it was just, too coincidental.
Tyson raised the alarm and a crime scene soon.
Also, do you see how good Benji is there? Just sat on his knee. No?
Tyson raised the alarm and a crime scene soon set up. Police are confident the remains belong to Julian, but forensic testing is still needed to confirm it and give his family some form of peace.
They've obviously been through.
Yeah, my dogs wouldn't just sit on your knee like that. So both my dogs, they'd be barking at the reporters, they'd be jumping up at them, they'd be like, certainly wouldn't just sit there all quiet like that. Oh, God. I've got hooligan dogs.
Yeah, a lot. Can't even imagine it. So to have it, I guess, finalised, they can get some closure, which, hopefully will bring them some peace.
This a tragic but desperately needed breakthrough. Julian's partner, Tamika Chesser, a former Beauty and the Geek star.
It's very sad, isn't it? Because this girl who, clearly has got mental health issues. What the hell happened? Anyway, apparently the police, they're still not able to interview her. She's in some psychiatric hospital. I think she, as I say, a lot of people use the mental health card, but personally, I think this girl, she definitely did have some sort of mental breakdown for whatever reason. Because she shaved her head, as well. We saw that video where she walked into the local bar. So this is in Australia, of course, isn't it? She walked into a local bar with her head shaved and started screaming. She definitely, she's got problems going on in the police. As I say, they've not even been able to interview her yet. So we'll see what happens in this case. Now, she's got 3 dogs. I hope they're okay.
Star is accused of killing him before beheading and discarding his remains. Police in the SES this morning back searching the reserve. This time using 2 cadaver dogs to sniff out any other remains. Forensic police have seized a number of items from the reserve today, which will now be sent back to Adelaide to be examined and tested. Meanwhile, this pup unaware of the role he played in a complex police investigation.
He definitely will get a few extra treats.
Keziah Sullivan, 9 News.
They should get a reward, I think. Joking apart, saying on Vera, they should be on the payroll. Dog walkers should be on the payroll. But I think, when people find some key pieces of evidence like this, they should get compensation. I don't know if they do or not. Because apart from anything, it's quite traumatic, isn't it? Traumatic to find someone's head. A skull. I think it was a skull that he found. That's very traumatic. There should be some sort of, I don't know, compensation. How can I put it? Not exactly a reward, I'm not saying, but some sort of compensation for the trauma. You know, it is traumatic. I mean, not so much for the dogs. The dog's probably thinking, oh, what's all the fuss about? I'm going to put that on one more time. We're going to watch it all the way through without me waffling this time.
Walker has told of his surreal find, his dog stumbling across human remains in Port Lincoln Scrub, the missing piece in a murder investigation. Julian Storey's family tonight awaiting forensic testing to confirm it is his skull that was uncovered by an unsuspecting local weeks after he was allegedly killed by his reality TV star girlfriend.
It was meant to be just a regular walk for Tyson McCullum and his dogs, but it was while walking through this reserve yesterday that Benji, the Beagalier, cracked a murder case.
Pretty surreal, to be honest. I just went in a bit closer and kind of made the connection pretty quickly as to what I thought it was.
Tyson's companions sniffing out what major crime detectives have been searching for weeks, the missing head of murder victim Julian Storey.
It was kind of just like, no way, like it's not what I think it is. Like, no, surely not. But it was just, yeah, too coincidental.
Tyson raised the alarm and a crime scene soon set up. Police are confident the remains belong to Julian, but forensic testing is still needed to confirm it and give his family some form of peace.
They've obviously been through, a lot. Can't even imagine it. So to have it, I guess, finalised, they can get some closure, which, hopefully will bring them some peace.
This a tragic but desperately needed breakthrough. Julian's partner, Tamika Chesser, a former Beauty and the Geek star, is accused of killing him before beheading and discarding his remains. Police in the SES this morning back searching the reserve. This time using 2 cadaver dogs to sniff out any other remains. Forensic police have seized a number of items from the reserve today, which will now be sent back to Adelaide to be examined and tested. Meanwhile, this pup unaware of the role he played in a complex police investigation.
He definitely will get a few extra treats.
Keziah Sullivan, 9 News.
So, now it's important to just a little bit of a qualifier there. The remains haven't been forensically tested yet. We're waiting for the forensic results, but the police must be completely confident that it is Julian for whatever reason. I mean, how many heads are you going to? I mean, you know, you've got to hope that when a head is found, there's one person missing who's been one person's head missing, and a head is found. You've got to be, 99% confident that it is their head. You wouldn't imagine or hope that there'd be other heads around. I mean, sometimes it happens, of course. I mean, the Gilgo Beach murders are an example, isn't it? They were looking for one woman and found a load of other bodies, and that does happen as well. But I think in this case, the police, they obviously must be 100% certain that this is him, because otherwise, they just wouldn't have released that information, would they? Okay, so